For us Canadians to understand the need to be more environmentally aware, we must first ask, what exactly are fossil fuels? A fossil fuel is just a fuel that is extracted and refined from buried dead organisms. Humanity has been using these fossil fuels excessively since the Industrial Revolution. From coal to oil and natural gas, the rate that humanity has been using fossil fuels is astonishing. In less than 200 years since humanity first harnessed fossil fuels, we have managed to deplete more than half of the fossil fuels that were originally buried underneath the earth for more than 500 million years. With an ever-growing human population, scientists predict that we will run out of oil, natural gas and coal in the next 150 years. If Canada and the rest of the world do not begin to take more measures into conserving energy and finding ways to harness new renewable energy, everything you use in day-to-day life may soon vanish. From the factories that produce the things that you use every day, to the vehicles that transport those items, and to the stores that sells those items, almost all of them consume fossil fuels. This means that in the next 150 years, if Canada and the rest of the world do not diversify the energies we consume, we run the risk of saying goodbye to the things we have grown accustomed to having. And with the carbon emissions produced from fossil fuels, we may not only just say goodbye to our things, but also the world itself. When we consume fossil fuels, we also spread carbon dioxide throughout the atmosphere and heat up the atmosphere. By heating up the atmosphere, it creates a butterfly effect that negatively impacts the world with hurricanes, rising sea level, and hotter climates. But what exactly can we Canadians do to not run out of energy and prevent climate change? There is a way for Canada and the rest of the world to escape an energy-less and hot future. In fact, we Canadians are already taking measures to not rely on fossil fuels as much as we used to. Since fossil fuels will soon be depleted, scientists and engineers around the world have begun developing ways to extract renewable energies. One of these renewable sources of energy is solar. Solar energy harnesses the sun's heat to interact with the silicon cells inside a solar panel and causing the electrons to be set into motion. When electrons in the solar panel are set into motion, it creates an electric current. This direct current is then converted into an alternating current which can be used to power technology. If we already have the means to use solar energy, you might ask, why don't we completely replace fossil fuel with solar energy? Typically, the first and foremost problem with using solar energy is the unavailability of solar energy during the night. Companies that provide you energy are ultimately businesses. Energies produced from nature like solar and wind can be unpredictable. A cloudy day can make solar panels useless, and a non-windy day can make windmills useless. A company that provides you with energy will not risk it to chance to provide people like you who depend on the company with electricity. Because the interests of the company does not always coincide with the greater good, it is harder for them to rely on solar energy. But just because companies will not rely on solar energy, it does not mean that we should give up on solar energy. Today, almost anyone can set up their own solar panels. By enlisting services readily available online, Canadians can have solar panels installed for only 8,000 CAD. While it may seem like a high price to pay, by installing these solar panels, you ultimately pay less on your electricity bill. In fact, if you were to closely monitor your energy consumption, you can set up a plan to solely rely on these solar panels and not have to pay an electricity bill at all. With the advent of electrical vehicles and more alternative energy-consuming technology, the world may actually have a chance of escaping an energy-less future. If we Canadians start educating ourselves about the importance of alternative energies from fossil fuels, we may continue to enjoy the luxuries that we have grown accustomed to. With solar and other renewable energies, we might just save our world.